Turn your mic off, Mr. Boosh. Turn your camera for a second, just for a few minutes.
That's what's up.
Why am I not centered?
Boosh, turn your camera off.
Okay, no worries. Wow, this music is loud.
I'm about to turn it off now.
Okay, because I'm
Welcome
wearing my...
to the live, everybody. Welcome to the live.
Why am I not centered?
Okay, we are live. We are live. We are live.
Do you want my camera on?
Yes, I have two guests in the back. I got Mr. Boosh.
Good night,
and I got
people.
Boosh on the live stream tonight, guys. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live.
Why am I not centered?
You're not centered?
No. This is not... All right. What do I look like? Yeah? Better?
You good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Good.
I'm good?
You good, Boosh?
I'm good.
Boosh? So this is my first time meeting Mr. Boosh in person. So nice to meet you. Well, not in person, but you know, seeing your face.
Nice to meet you too.
Good. So on tonight's live, we're gonna be reacting to a Kevin Samuels video. I'm gonna pull it up now here. Let me pull it up for you guys. So the title of this particular video is, where is it? I'm sorry, y'all.
It's cool. Let me see the chat.
Where is it at? Oh. No, that's not it. She makes 50K. Nope. Was that it? 50K?
No, it was something about something slave.
Okay, I don't want to be a slave.
Yeah,
yes, that's what it was. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the video that we are going to be reacting to tonight. And the first thing that I'm going to do is play the video. And I'm going to stop the video, you know, along the line so that we can, you know, react to it as it goes, because it is a 32 minute video. So we don't want to be on here way too long. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'll play it and stop it in certain areas, and then we can all give our assessment and opinions on what it is that the commentary is saying. Okay?
Gotcha.
We gotta get rid of the commercials for a second. We're gonna start from the beginning. Let's go to the beginning. So we're gonna go ahead. Y'all good? Y'all can hear it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I like to get comfy. I've been snuggling up, drinking my glass of wine and water. And is your price too high? Oh, is my price too high? Let me say is my place too high? Sorry. I don't think my price is too high.
Okay. So what do you want?
Ultimately, I want a man that's a provider.
Okay.
Willing to work at the beginning, but when it's time to have children, I do want to be able to stay at home and raise the children. So they're able.
How many kids would you like?
Ideally 3 to 4, but right now I would say at the age that I am, maybe 2.
Oh,
32. Well, I'll be 32 soon.
okay. So you want to be a traditional housewife?
I wouldn't say ultra traditional, but somewhat, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you want the man to be a traditional provider?
Yes. Ideally, I would like that.
Okay, so that point right there, what do you guys think about that? She said that she would want to be a housewife after she have children, meaning that she want to be able to be a stay-at-home mom after she have children and her husband provide for her. But she also said that she didn't want to be a traditional housewife, but she want a traditional provider. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
So what else you want to do?
Right.
My take on that is that she doesn't want to be traditional in the sense that some of the traditions, they are like outdated, they are outlasted now. So like with a little modern twist, probably, but she wants the man to still do the traditional stuff. Go to work,
So
come back home, right?
Is it fair to say that it sounds unbalanced? Can you guys hear me?
Somewhat on. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Well, for me, I just feel.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
To me, in my culture, the balance is there, is that the man would provide, the woman would stay at home, but she also has a role in the home where her role is to make sure and provide that moral support. She would cook at the home, she would take care of the home. She also has to be that person to kind of relieve the stress on you as a man coming home. So she has a special job cut out for her.
Mm-hmm. So I took the liberty of looking up housewife. And according to the definition on Wikipedia, it says that a housewife, sorry guys, a housewife, also known as a homemaker, is a woman whose work is running or managing her family's home, caring for her children, buying, cooking, and storing food for the family, buying goods that the family needs for everyday life, housekeeping, cleaning, and maintaining the home, and making and buying and or mending clothes for the family, and who is not employed outside of the home, which is a career woman. A housewife who has children may be called a stay-at-home mom or mother. So, in my opinion, that would be what a housewife is. So now, let's finish looking at the video and hear what she has to say further.
Well, let me say something though. She did mention that she don't want to be a traditional housewife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking she's thinking more in terms of being a housewife where a nanny might be in play or a housekeeper might be in a play. And I'm thinking she's thinking that way because she's thinking about being with a high value man. So he might be able to provide these things for her.
I don't know if a high value man want a nanny. I think that a high value man wants his wife to raise his
Well,
children and take care of them.
I didn't say what he wants. I'm saying what she wants. That's what she's looking for. Because if you're bold enough to say that this is you don't want to be a traditional housewife, who she want to clean the house?
Right.
Who she wants to take care of the kids?
So
So
let's finish.
it's
Let's finish listening to what she has to say, and also hear what her definition of a traditional housewife is.
Okay, that sounds like an unbalanced balance.
So you said the same thing.
I don't necessarily think so.
If you need him to be a traditional provider, but he's not getting a traditional housewife, what is he getting that's better than a traditional housewife? Because his responsibility is here. What's he going to get that's here or above?
What does a traditional housewife entail?
Or you tell me, because you said you're not one. You picked the right one.
Housewife, I'm just imagining kind of being a slave. So that's
Let me stop you right here.
Before you stop her right there, let's look up the word slave.
okay.
Can we see what slave means? A slave is a person who is the legal property of another and is forced to obey them.
Right.
So clearly, when she made this statement, she didn't think it through. Because a housewife, a traditional housewife, I don't care how it's worded, in my opinion, traditional housewife just basically means a housewife according to what women did as housewife back in the days.
Right.
Traditionally, a long time ago. And all the things that I've read on the definition of a housewife is a traditional housewife. Take care of the kids, keep the house, maintain the household, cook, clean, all that kind of stuff. That's a traditional housewife. So what do you guys think about the fact that she said a traditional housewife is a slave?
I think that brings me back to the point where she don't want to do the traditional stuff. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. A traditional housewife is a slave. I really don't understand that part. She just don't want the responsibility of being taking care of the home, And as you said, going back to where you go ahead, Mr. Bush. Go ahead.
I think she misinterpreted what is a slave. She considered that if a woman is doing all this for a man, she thinks that is probably too much for a woman to do for a man. And why she look at it as being slavery. But that is not being slavery,
No. It doesn't.
What she was, but she doesn't.
She definitely.
She thinks that he going out there getting the money and just bringing it is not enough compared to what she got to do at the home.
And in all reality, the things that she's doing in the home is work. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and it's work for your family. You're working to make sure that your household is ran smoothly, so that when your husband come home, he don't have to worry about anything because he already went out and did what he had to do in order to, provide for his family. Listen, If I could do my life all over again, I would be a housewife, a traditional housewife.
Hmm.
If I could do it all over again, I
To
would.
me,
I'm not. If I could do it, what
a
did you say?
traditional to me, I know that a man is supposed to provide financially and security for the home, whereas
Right,
a woman would provide emotional and the food and take care of the clothes, make sure, as you rightfully said, manage the home, which is a hard
right.
task to do. So
It's
I don't know if
definitely a
it's
hard
anything
task.
that
It's not an easy job. It's
exactly.
not an easy job. It's not. So let's finish listening.
Right?
Well,
Where are the people from?
My mom's from Trinidad and my dad's from Jamaica. So I see that's
Hold
my
on, hold on. You don't need white supremacy racist. All we got is this: that you think that the women who came before you were slaves.
it's not that necessarily, but just what I'm seeing in the media and just all around me. I see women trying to be this housewife for men, traditional housewife for men, and they're just getting like, can I curse?
We're people trying to be challenged on anything you're gonna say because you tell me the media. I'm like, what you want to say? Excuse me? You talking about a woman who's let's do it. Let's do it. Traditional housewife. What media?
He said, "Let's do it." He is ready. Kevin Samuels always be ready. He said, "Let's do it." Okay, good. She said that she see traditional housewives on the media. Let's finish listening.
Mhm.
So let's. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I want you to define what traditional housewife.
No.
Because in my mind, traditional housewife is being home.
Can't overtalk me. That's how we don't do that.
Okay.
I said traditional housewife. You said no, not traditional housewife. All right. So you was thinking of something, and then you talk about from what I'm seeing in the media.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you what media. You haven't answered the questions. What media are you talking about?
Social media.
Where do you see traditional housewife on social media?
Please tell us.
Everywhere. I mean, that I know of, just women getting taken.
She says she see traditional housewives in social media. Do you guys see traditional housewives on social media?
I mean, you see traditional housewife almost every day. In different cultures, people, the tradition they have would vary. But
But do you
it
see
all
them?
depends.
But do you see them on social media?
What is her definition of traditional housewife?
We're gonna keep listening. Booge, do you see traditional housewives on social media?
I don't know what she talking about.
Only thing I see on social media is women popping their butts and showing butt shot pictures. Like, like there's nothing traditional about the women on social media. But we're
Mhm.
gonna keep listening and see what she says.
Mhm.
Care of and not working.
Women being taken care of and not working.
Mhm.
So that's what a traditional housewife is: taking care of and not working.
To me, yes.
Oh, okay. So, and that's getting the shit into the stick.
From what I've seen so far, yes.
What?
From what I've seen so far, yes. That's what
Girl.
get your definition of it.
Well, why do you want it? Why do you want to be entertained? Then why do you want to be out there and work, pay all the bills, so you can sit at home?
She said that to her, a traditional housewife is the women that sit at home and get taken care of.
Mhm. What do you think about
And
that, Mr. Booth?
that is not a traditional housewife. That
I
that is
uh-huh.
that is what she determined being a traditional housewife. It's not a woman that stays at home and get taken care of. That's a
I think
woman
I
that
think
stays at
she
home that keeps.
I think she misinterpreting traditional housewife with being a lazy woman. I think she wants to get something out of a man where she could just sit back, scratch, and not bring anything to the table to be, just to be frank. She might just be a lazy girl who don't want to put out in a relationship and just have some people like that. Gimme, 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 take care of me, but you don't want to take care of your household, you don't want to take care of your kids, you don't want to take care of your man, you know? And that,
I
yeah,
agree
yeah.
100% because, first of all, she referred to social media
Mm-hmm.
where you can find traditional housewives.
Right. No way.
There's no traditional housewives on social media.
Mm-hmm.
What is she talking about? And this is what makes me mad when I watch things like this on Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Samuels show. These women come up on his platform and they speak out the side of their necks.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't say that Kevin make them sound stupid. I did title a video like that one day, and when I said that, I didn't mean it like literally, but she sounds stupid. She sounds,
Ignorant.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
stupid, ignorant, same
Mm-hmm.
thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but as we go further into the video, we'll get into her age, and this is probably why. So she called a traditional housewife a slave.
Okay, can I say something?
Mhm.
Something that you didn't mention, or I don't know if you pick up on this, Mr. Boosh, is that she mentioned that she came from a Caribbean background, right? So her mom
Yeah,
is Trinidadian and her father is Jamaican.
Jamaican.
So
Mhm.
in those households, you will find a woman who, well, back in the day, I don't know for now, right? But you will find a woman who might be more open to wanting to be a housewife and a man to be the provider who will go out and day and work, right? And
Mhm.
I just feel like she do not like the example that she saw at home. She hates it. So that could be a major issue because if your parents are your role models, right?
Mhm.
And she's speaking like this, she don't like what she grew up seeing, and that's a major thing. She don't like
Mhm.
the role her mother played in the household. She don't like it,
Right.
right?
Correct.
Mhm.
You
So
see,
something
what I
something
would
huh? Go ahead.
what I would say too, she probably got an experience of being coming from that Caribbean background. Her mom was being Trinidadian, her dad being Jamaican. But then she
Mhm.
could have been born in the US and she could have been born at the time where that was a little bit, so she growing up into seeing this the American culture and seeing other housewives or other women that she considered being housewives being taken care of. She probably didn't really
Mhm.
grow into that traditional Caribbean household to really learn to appreciate what is really a housewife. You know, she probably
I,
grew into the environment where a lot of things were a bit easier than seeing the real traditional housewife.
mhm.
Mm.
So Donna said, nah, where she come from, that's a kept woman.
Mm-hmm.
And Donna, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. True. True.
I have a cousin who always said that she want to be a kept woman. And she's married now, and she
Mm-hmm.
still feel like there's going to be a day that her husband is going to be able to take care of everything, and she can be a kept woman. So yeah, there is a difference between a housewife and a kept woman.
Right.
So yeah, she can't be a housewife raising kids. I mean, she can't be a kept woman raising kids.
That
She
part.
can be. I mean,
I get what
at
you're
the end of
saying.
the day, if you're a housewife
You have
and
duties.
you're raising your kids and things like that, at the same time, you are a kept woman because you don't have to contribute financially. So yeah, you're a kept woman also. But if you don't have any children, that is going to be the definition of a kept woman. Period. So I'm gonna finish. You wanted to say something, Boosh?
No, I agree. I agree. I mean, but being a housewife, you have responsibilities, you know. So I don't really get the concept of being a housewife and a kept woman, and even a housewife who's a mom. Like, how could you be a kept woman? Because you have responsibilities, and those responsibilities is work. You know,
Yeah.
it's work too. So I don't get it. Unless,
Mhm.
as I said previously, unless you want to be the type of woman who, where you have a nanny coming in and taking care of the kid from 9 to 5, where you could go to the gym, you have time to do things outside the home, like just your own activities, and
Mhm.
your house is being taken care of in terms of laundry, cooking, or like that. You have a maid in there. So that's what I will look to call a kept woman, rather than, just a housewife. Not just a housewife, because a housewife have responsibilities.
Responsibilities.
Yeah. So.
Right. So basically, a kept woman is a woman who just don't have to work and her man take care of her. Her husband take care of her. She just don't have to work. You know. But what this young lady is describing is she's describing that she want to be a kept woman, not a housewife.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Correct.
apparently. So let's go ahead and finish listening to the video.
I didn't necessarily phrase it as that. I said
That's what it is.
wanted a provider for the
You
most.
wanted to be able to work and you wanted. I asked the question. I asked the question, so I'm very clear. I asked the question. You don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant. You want a man to be a traditional provider. I've said that 3 times.
Okay.
But how we get to it, you don't have to want to be the one carrying the financial load. You want to be providing for him.
Yeah.
And then what is he going to get? Because he's not going to get a traditional wife. What is he going to get?
He's gonna get the love and support that I
You buy a goddamn dog for that.
Okay.
So you ladies don't want a fair deal. You ladies want an unfair deal. You want a man to go out and do the things that men have always been expected to do since time immemorial. Yet you don't come to the table wanting to even come and act in good faith. You women like you, I'm talking about you. You come in here talking about a traditional housewife as a slave. And I tell you what, you leave men alone. Go get your girlfriend, go buy a dog and live and die by yourself. I get tired of you women talking about men as though there's something to hurt and abuse shit.
No, one thing about Kevin Samuels is that he is going to give it to you raw,
Mm-hmm.
and you can either take it or leave it. And statements like this is why Black women do not like him. And it is as harsh and real as it may sound. I mean, not as real, but as harsh as it may sound, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is she talking about? What is she talking
Actually,
about?
I kind of agree with that. I mean, she going on about talking about she want to be the housewife, but she don't want to be the traditional housewife. And he tell her, you not prepared for the housewife. You don't
Mhm.
have what it takes to be a housewife. So you probably need a dog to grow, you know?
Right.
And that
And
is
look,
really
and a girlfriend.
exactly. So now you can probably gossip about the guy that you didn't date.
That's crazy.
She's not prepared.
She's not. But
She's
this is
not.
the thing that I personally like about Kevin Samuels. I feel like these conversations are needed to happen. And I'm happy that Kevin Samuels is bringing these kind of conversations to his platform, because these conversations is going to help women, Black women in particular, to change the way that they think about men, Black men, and relationships. if they can hear what he's saying as the truth and not as him trying to degrade or down black women. Now, like I said, I'm gonna say this. I can't stress this enough. I don't agree with every single thing that Kevin Samuel say, but for the most part, he be on point with his stuff. And these women come up here sounding freaking crazy. Like, what kind of fragging bull is this that she's talking about? And I hope that when she replayed this video and listened to herself, she learned that or realized that she sounds crazy.
It's almost as if they want to be set up. They're setting up their own self for failure, you know? I don't know if they're doing it. Just like how he says some certain things for shock value, I feel like they do the same thing. Like they come out here and just say certain things to just, you know, get his attention or to get him riled up. Because, I mean, if you are somebody who watches show regularly, you might want to, you know, think before you talk a little bit, but you come in all like unprepared and with nonsense. You bring in like stuff that don't make sense to the table. Like, are you watching you? Is she coming from a place where she's watching these housewives on TV? Was those housewife shows? That's what she's looking for, something like that, you know?
And Boosh, I'm glad you made that a point because that is what I was thinking. I'm like, she said that she's looking at social media, but I also feel like she's looking at these reality TV shows. That's
Exactly.
not an example of a housewife. Those are not examples of housewives. Those are TV shows. And women who are about a bunch of drama, they're not raising children and staying at home and cooking and cleaning. That
All they do is what is good for business. Those TV shows,
period.
they only give you what is good for business, you know? So
Exactly.
they're gonna give you, they have no tradition in that.
There's
They
nothing
all
traditional about it.
and they
Yeah.
don't carry the values of a real housewife. And then what is going to happen to her when guys look at this video? So then you know how she's thinking, what type of brother she's going to get.
Exactly, because Kevin Samuels has a pretty big platform. Today I was listening to him and he said he reached 600,000 subscribers.
I saw.
Right now I'm looking and he's
It's
at
more.
606,000 subsibers and 334,965 people watched this video. Most of them are probably men. So yes, you're right, Mr. Boosh. What's going to happen when men watch this video and can see what her mindset is? Like,
So
it's
she
not
set
cool.
herself up.
Yeah, and Boosh, you made a point too when you said these women call into the show, they don't be prepared. They're not prepared at all. There's no way I'm calling into this show to speak to this man unprepared because he's going to shut you down.
Right.
You know? Julian Johnson says, you're a woman of your word. Thank you. I appreciate you. Of course. I try to keep my word. Let's finish this.
You watch fucked up social media stories. We're not trying to have you put this shit on there. We talked about y'all like this, you call us toxic. We said traditional housewives some gold diggers, then there'll be all kind of problems. That's what I mean. You guys are used to talking about being as some of the ballast lady. Didn't say you want. Okay. So let's take it down. What do you want to stay home with your kids?
I absolutely do want to stay at home with my kids up until a certain age. Yeah.
Then where are they going to go after what age?
I was thinking maybe kindergarten.
And if you have 4 children, then they should be at the workforce for at least 12 years.
She wasn't ready for that.
I'm currently a flight attendant.
So, being gone out of the workforce for 10, 12 years, Think I'm gonna go back to your flight attendant at 50?
It's possible, but ideally I would.
Right. So in other words, your husband, if you have 4 kids, he would have to carry the load because even if you sent the kids away to school after the youngest is in kindergarten, you just sit at home by yourself. Ain't that something? As I said, so like I said 10 minutes ago, why does he have to go out and work and get to everybody at home? That don't sound like slavery to me. That sounds like luxury.
Yes, the way you put it, yes, it does.
Not the way I put it. We just talked through your example.
She said the way you put it.
That's she just giving. You
She
saying
said the
something
way
and
you
then
put it.
she's not aware of what she just said. So she said the way you put it, so that makes it look like you're not aware of what you're talking about. You want to say what you want, but you're not sure what you want because you can't explain it. Because you're just agreeing to disagree with Kevin, you know?
Let's do it. Let's go.
I can see from that viewpoint. But I also have a question before we go further.
I want to answer, but I didn't get to answer my questions about this scenario.
Okay.
Do you have a cookbook?
Do I have a cookbook?
Nope.
No, but
No, so you can't cook. So basically,
who said that?
I said that.
Now, just because she doesn't have a cookbook, that doesn't mean she can't cook. I don't have a cookbook, but Lord knows I can cook my behind off. Like seriously, don't do that, Kevin.
Did she mention previously that she can cook?
No, we never heard her say that.
Well,
so I don't.
He does that sometimes. At the end of the day, he will say certain things that you have to wonder, you know, like, but you know,
like you said earlier, Bouge, like you said earlier, a lot of what he does is for shock value. All those little, the little noises that he make and stuff like that.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean that's for shock value. And you know, when he do the whipping noises, you know, the little sound effects, and you know, when he do all that kind of stuff, that's definitely for shock value, and it makes for a good show. Hell, I ain't mad at him for it.
Go ahead, Mr.
No, but
Booth.
what I'm thinking, why he asks if she has a cookbook. He wants to see that you want to be, as a woman, going to a recipe book to cook for you and provide for your family, which means you're not ready. You should have to go to a recipe book to cook. You should be able to do these stuff.
Yeah, but she didn't imply that she can't cook. So why would he ask if she have a cookbook? A cookbook is for somebody who needs to follow instructions, somebody who's new to the kitchen, really, or somebody who's looking for new recipes. But the way he put it is as if she don't know how to cook. So he assumed that she doesn't know how to cook, maybe based on the way she's speaking. You know?
All right. So he's showing things out there to see what sort of housewife that she wants to be. He just out there. This is a figure her out. You know?
So he just trying to figure her out, she said?
Yeah, he figured it out. So at the end, he could assess the situation and he could determine and tell her exactly where she's going with this or where she would end up if she continue going down that path.
What part she going down?
I don't know. I just say. Well, the part of wanting to be a housewife.
She going down the path of being single forever.
Okay.
Well,
as Kevin Samuels would say, dying alone.
He says that.
All right, let's finish listening.
You can't. A woman who can cook. I come from cooking people. Women, see, traditional housewives understand that their province is the home.
Yes.
This is what I mean. So what I mean is you can follow recipes. That means somebody else has to decide what the food for your family is. The the most important thing is the food for the family, and you can't even be responsible for that. Someone else has to do a follow. So why don't your husband go get the woman who made the recipe?
Okay.
What did you bring into the table?
That's a valid point.
So this is what I mean.
That's a valid point.
When you ladies don't even bring, it's.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
When you don't even bring the basic stuff, it's like,
Okay.
you're like you had 4 kids, you be the 5th.
So what are the basics? This is what I really want to know. What are the basics for you?
First of all, good faith.
Mm-hmm.
Good faith. First of all, I think you need to go back and understand what it means to be a woman and a wife. Because if you come into
What do you guys think that he meant by good faith? I'm gonna tell you what I think he meant. I think he meant when he said good faith, he meant having faith in your husband to the point where you feel like he is capable and able to provide for the family the way it needs to be provided for. That's what I think that he was talking about when he said good faith. What do you guys think he was talking about?
What you got, Mr. Bush?
Well, I think when he said good faith, he said a woman needs to have good faith, meaning that faith is things that are unseen, but trust and believe in it. So you know that the faith that your husband will have in you coming home, knowing that his wife would provide a meal, knowing that he's going to get clean clothes to put on, he knowing that probably she run the bath water, you know. That's a good faith you're looking at.
Who running
What
bad
do you
water?
think, Boosh?
I agree, but I don't know about the bad water part. Why you can run your own bad water? Run the bad water. Now we come back to slavery. What?
Right. But that's hard day at work. He just came home. I'm in a 20-something story building. You can do that for him.
What you said, Mr. Boosh?
I said, your husband just came from a hard day of work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do that for him too.
Run bad water.
You can fully bath up.
This is
Mr. Boosh?
This is the old Western, like take off the shoes, run bad water. No way. Relax.
I ain't even going. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I would definitely run my man's bath water before he came home. Like seriously, I would do that.
Really?
I would. I would. I would. I think I was a traditional housewife in my past life.
Mm.
You don't support that?
I really think I was. I think I was.
You know what? I am the type of person, I don't like to be told what to do. So if I'm running a bath water, it's something that I want to do. But don't call me like, babe, you about to run the bath water? No, that shit is not happening. Absolutely not.
I don't know, Boosh, because
let me surprise you.
Especially if it wasn't a hard, rough day with the kids. And he called me and he said, baby, listen, I had a long day. I had such a hard day. These clients was like getting on my nerve, and my employees was doing this, and that, or whatever it is that he want to lay out. Can you please just have some hot water ran in the bathtub? I just need to soak. I would be like, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I mean, like, well, my next question is, you got a sushi?
Oh my God. Carissa said these women need to actually watch one of his shows before they call in. I agree, Carissa. People keep looking at clips.
Yeah.
They gotta watch the whole show.
Right.
Stacy Lindsay said I would be in the water waiting. I know that's right, girl.
Oh my gosh.
Me too.
Listen.
But I'm the type of female, I'm the type of woman that I like to cater to my man. So that's, I'm going to say that anyway.
That would be a communication thing. As long as you and your lady have that communication, once
Mm-hmm.
she told you, she would know exactly how you feel. She would know what is best to do to get you in that calm,
Mhm.
relaxed motion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Let's finish listening.
Enslaved. I really got to talk about say shit like
I think you need to hear where I'm coming from, but
Where you coming
I
from,
want you to
girl?
continue before I explain that.
No.
that. Go ahead.
Mm-mm.
I want you to continue before I explain.
Well, I'm coming from a place of good faith, meaning that a man is something to be valued,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that the most important duty or responsibility a woman has on the planet is her children and her family.
Mm.
Don't have anybody else raising your kids, feeding your kids, just wants to take pride in these kind of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. I
Mm-hmm.
think that he said that you're supposed to take pride in raising your kids. You don't want anybody else raising your kids, feeding your kids, and doing all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the modern woman,
Mm-mm. We're doing that.
they're not doing that
Mm-mm.
because the modern woman has been taught how to be a career woman,
Mm-hmm.
not a housewife.
Right.
And nothing wrong with the fact that they're deciding that they want to be a career woman and raise their kids in an untraditional way. But at the same time, is that a problem, especially in the Black community?
I would say it's a sort of a problem because when kids are raised that way, they tend to lose the moral value of family life, and they don't really see and have that level of respect for family life. So you tend to find, I'm not going to say all, but you tend to find children that or families that are that way tend to have a lot of problems where infidelity steps in because they
Mm-hmm.
are more open to a wider avenue rather than being traditionally inclined, more or less satisfied. We make that choice in our life that we want to have this partner for life. And if we choose to have this part of life, we agree that we're going to go down. So we do the necessary traditional things to keep that going, where the man goes out and work, he provides financially for the family, he provides security for the family, and the mom she manages the home and manages the spending of the money. And whereas she's the man doesn't go out and see a sneakers that he wants and he purchases. He actually tells her, and she has the money to go purchase that for him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because she's the one would know how to budget. Babe, we can't get this month because we behind on this payment, but we probably do it next month. Because he does see these things in the home. He's out there
Right,
providing, working hard to put food on the table.
right.
And then when she's out there working and things, you tend to find that she competes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the I bring to the table. Look at that, and then they sometimes they grow the kid where if the man doesn't want the kids to have certain things, she say, "I'm a working woman. I'm going to provide that." And then I think in traditional housewife, they don't have independence in a traditional household.
What do you mean they don't have independence? You mean like as far as money or just their life?
No, in their life, because independence. I don't. My belief is that Nobody is put out here to make life on their own. Everybody needs somebody at some point in time in their life. You might live for independence, but independence is for like a body of people, not just an individual. Because we all need somebody to survive. We need somebody to give us a job. We need somebody to pay us. We need somebody to provide that job for us. So
So you're
when I
saying
look
that
at
the
independence,
so you're saying that the traditional housewife has her husband to provide those things for her.
yeah, she has a husband and she has to provide certain things for that husband too. She has to make him feel that level of comfort. But he mustn't be the man going out there and then still have to come home. He stressed at work, coming home to be stressed at home. That doesn't work. So
Right.
she has to work out to help relieve his stress.
So
And she's
She have
supposed
to
to,
do her part.
yeah, provide that environment. That when he comes home, he mustn't feel the same way as work. He must feel that this is a safe haven. When I
peace,
come home,
like
I can feel
a peace.
peace. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's why one of the things that Kevin Samuel says is that when he speak about high value men, one of the qualities that they're looking for in a woman is being cooperative. And that piece that Mr. Booge is talking about, I'm thinking it lines up with that, being cooperative and not, stressing your husband out when he come home from a long day of work. I'm gonna finish playing the video, guys.
Exactly.
Calling the recipe used to be insulting to them. They made their own recipes, but that's what women taught each other how to cook. So you're supposed to write in recipes to recipe books, not just looking on the back or bottom. But you know, but sadly, many women today don't know how to do this stuff. Went to school, got an education pretty much like a guy that was gender neutral, and you're out here working. And then you want a man to come along and do what men have done for hundreds of years. You're not even qualified to do what the women you used to call slaves did with joy.
With joy.
I'm not calling them slaves necessarily. I'm just saying, depending on who they were married to.
You can give me all the horror stories.
They were slaving.
Okay. Who?
I can say that my mom was slaving. I can say that my mom had slaved for my dad. She
Let me ask you a question.
was working full time.
In this country,
We frozen?
in this country, what
I'm frozen.
You frozen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They don't.
I don't see that.
Men are the
Yeah, I'm
ones that
frozen.
financially devastated.
You look good to me.
Custody goes to
Don't
the wife.
touch nothing. You look good. It's not frozen on my end. It's still plain. Mm.
This is why so many men are avoiding marriage because
So
9 times out of 10 is because women have a financial incentive to file for divorce. Well, I don't look at Hollywood.
Hold on. Guys, are we moving on the screen on your end? Because right now I'm looking at a still screen.
Because I'm watching you on the TV and you're fine. You're totally fine. You're totally fine on my monitor. So
No, you guys are frozen. Y'all not even moving. I'm not moving. You guys aren't moving. And I can't move around the chat. I don't know what's happening, guys. This is not a good look right now. But I am like completely frozen on my end.
just keep going.
Just keep going.
Yeah, because it's not frozen on the TV. So keep going. You just can't see the chat anymore. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave it.
You don't typically see women going having to move back in with their mother because their husband got the home with the kids. This happens all the time. So, but your mother had the slave. Is your mother still married to your father?
she is.
I don't like that.
I don't know. I could ask her, but I don't want to marry. About 32 years. They got married right before they had me.
Thank you very much. See, what you said to me, what reminds me is so much of what happened with generation, silent generation, baby boomers. Baby boomer generation, my mother's generation, down upon their mother and their grandmother's generation because they had to slave for their husbands and do all sort of kind of stuff. And then they realized that when they got to be later in life, that they had made those women. They realized that every other generation of women up to them had done their jobs. They were the generation that spent all the money, sold the family house. They're the most selfish generation that ever lived. And the ones that are still alive will tell you, we have failed as women because they're my parents. They made a generation of harder women and softer men, all because they looked on what their mothers did as being beneath them because they got a little funky piece of education, a little bit of government assistance, and were told that you were better than your man in the civil rights. Only group of women that actually looks at the women past them as equals. And yet, now you're the most educated, you make more money.
I like the point that he made here when he said that the women, which is like his mother, and his mother's generation, they were the only group of women that looked at the women before them as fools. And the reason why I like that statement is because it's true. And I hear females, even in the generation underneath me, talking about women that was before them and before like my mom's age or whatever the case may be, as being fools. Like, why do we, or why does these people, these women and the generation now, which is like this young lady on the screen, why is it that the women before them is being looked at as fools? Because they took care of their family and they took care of the household and things like that. Like Kevin Sam, you said in this video, women back then took pride in maintaining their household, taking care of their children, and just making sure that their husband was straight and everything. What is education? Is the education that women getting today that much greater than making sure that your family is taken care of and that your children are taken care of and et cetera, except your husband and things of that nature? Like, where's the disconnect?
So 2 things. I feel like, as I said earlier, she do not like the role that her mom plays because she mentioned that she don't want to be a traditional housewife, right? So she hates that role that her mom plays because as a housewife, because I don't think her mom is no traditional housewife, right? Because traditional means in the now or modern. Well, she don't want to be traditional like her mom. She wants to be a modern housewife, correct?
Right. She want to be a kept woman. It sound like to me.
So she hates that traditional housewife feel. She don't like nothing about that. So that's what I feel about her. That's the sense I'm getting with her in that area. And for the next thing, I lose my train of thought. When I remember, I'll tell you.
Mr. Booge, what do you think?
I don't know what happened. He's off the screen. I don't know what happened. Is he in the background? You can't even check.
Oh no! See, remember I told you my screen is like completely frozen. So
if he can't come back in because you would need to bring it back in anyways.
Yeah, he got to request to come back in. Okay, so let's finish listening real quick. We're only going to listen. We're not going to listen past the part where he asked her weight and size and stuff like that, because I already did a reaction video to that part of this video, and I don't want to go through that again. I did want to touch on what she was speaking about in terms of traditional housewives being slaves, and that's it. So let's just finish. We only got a couple more minutes.
Okay, no worries.
You're more educated than the previous groups of women. You have more options, opportunity. You're freest than ever been, and you're most unhappy black women that ever existed.
I don't feel that way because
the stats say that though. You don't feel that way. The stats say that though. 1 in 4 of you will marry in a lifetime.
Okay.
You said I don't want to be a slave, and you said basically you said your mama's slave.
Yes, because I see and hear the way that my father treats my mother, and I know that she deserves better.
See that? See that?
Boom. You said that. You
See
called
that?
it.
Mm-hmm.
You called it.
Exactly.
You called it.
Exactly. And that sums up the whole video. That sums it up right there. She hates the way or whatever view she have of her mother and father relationship, whatever she's seen growing up, she don't want no part of that.
She don't want no parts.
Yep. And that's why she's talking out of the side of her mouth, saying that she wants to be in this modern relationship, but what is she going to bring to the table exactly? I feel like she's also confused and she wasn't prepared for Kevin, and that's the bottom
She was
line.
not.
She was
Most
not
of these
prepared.
women that call into his show, they are not prepared at all. They come in there and I feel like they come in there with the idea or the notion that, you know what, I'm gonna be the one to shut this down.
Exactly. And it's sad because they don't come with the right tools, and he's ready for you.
He's so ready.
He's ready.
He's so ready. So let's finish listening.
You need to stay in your place. You need to stay in your place.
In my place, how?
As a child. That's your mama, that's his woman. You need to stay in your place. That's one of the main problems we have in the black community. We got kids judging grown relationships. You don't have any children, do you?
No, I don't have any children.
Well, that's my point. You're judging your mother and father from a kid's standpoint. Not that they're just individuals. You don't know what your mama does behind closed doors to your daddy, but your mama does. Your mama knows enough to have her ass in the marriage.
Come on
she
now.
got more than you do.
What's that?
A husband.
Okay.
How many siblings you got?
She's not ready.
I have 4 brothers, 4 stepbrothers, well, half brothers, and 1 like other brother. We have
How many children your mother have?
All 6 of us.
How many children do your father have?
Just the 2. Well, now.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So let's stop. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Your biological father?
Yes.
Went with your mother and raised kids from another man?
Yes.
No.
Later on.
I don't need your interpretation. The biology is all I'm concerned with. Your mother had children from another man?
Yes.
How many men?
My mother had children from another man. 2 other men.
2 other men. So your mama has 3
Before
back there.
met my father.
So she's reproduced with 3 men.
Yes.
So your father accepted your mother, who had reproduced with 2 other men, and she hadn't been married to those men, right?
Correct.
Right. He sounds like a goddamn superhero as far as I'm concerned.
Wait. No, seriously. I'm not mad at what Kevin Samuels said here because, I mean, think about it, Boosh. This is my opinion on that. Any man that takes on a woman with 1 child that's not his, that's commendable. But if you take on a woman with 4 kids, a woman in that position where she has 4 children and a man is going to take her and marry her with her 4 kids, you should feel honored. I'm serious. Like, 4 kids, that's a lot.
So wait, was that 4 kids and 2 baby daddies?
3 baby daddies.
Oh, that's why I did this. I thought, wait, she came in with the 4 kids and 3 baby daddies?
No, yeah, 2 baby daddies. 3
Oh,
baby
okay.
daddies,
Oh,
including
okay.
him.
Oh, okay, okay. That's why I put up the 2 fingers. I was like, what? 4 baby
Yeah,
daddies.
I can't see your fingers because y'all frozen.
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am. So that's a bit much.
I mean, like seriously, where does he get credit for that?
Who the father?
Yes.
I mean, he's a good man.
Yeah, he took on a woman with 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
4 children that's not his.
Right.
So where does he get credit for that?
Where does he get credit?
I mean, she's saying that her dad doesn't treat her mom right, and I think she said something about the way he speaks to her or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going on
In the household.
in their household. We just know from what she's saying.
Right.
And we know her mom is not on here to defend herself or her husband. So I'm not really going to speak on what she said in terms of that.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin said what he said, and what he said was for her to mind her business and stay in a child's place.
What she wants is a dream. She created her own mindset as to what a relationship should be like, and it's a selfish one. So good luck with her finding a man who is willing to give her exactly what she wants. At the end of the day, you still have to be able to bring something to the table, and you seem to not even want to cook and clean and take care of your kids. So what are you really bringing to the table?
Well, she did say that she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom so she can take care of her kids.
She wants to
It
take
sounds
care.
like to me that, like you said earlier, that's all she wanted to do is take care of the kids. No, you mentioned a nanny.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she want to take care of her kids at home, but she don't want to do the extra things, which is
Right.
cooking and cleaning and maintaining the household. That's what it sounds
Right.
like. She just want to be there to be in the house to raise the kids and make sure they're they're looked after properly by her.
Right.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
And go shopping and get her hair done and her nails done and all that and all that and all that. But let's finish looking. Let's finish listening.
Are y'all not hearing this?
We hear it.
This woman's talking like her mother is some slave and her father stepped in to raise no man. This is why I say stay in your place as a child, because that man stepped in and did something he didn't have to do to your mom.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That is true, but at the moment, that wasn't even a factor. Until years later.
What's she talking about?
Right.
What does
It's
she
like she's
mean by
talking
that?
in code.
What? That wasn't a factor. What does that mean?
Was honestly, I had a few questions. I wanted to know, how do women determine if our price is too high? How do we determine that?
Man, the low level lack of respect and contempt that you seem to have for men, black men in particular.
I don't think I have a low level and lack.
Man, I'm telling you what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
You can think what you want. I'm telling you what I'm experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a pretty accurate judge of character. A pretty accurate judge. You said slave. You judge your mother as a slave. You talk about
letting that go.
You cannot substantiate. You have nothing to back up. Your mama is married to a man of 32 years who took her in with 3 children from 2 different men. I would almost bet that she's as thankful that she has this man, regardless as to what you think you saw. You think what you saw is what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in a kid's place and stop judging your grown parents. Because what are you doing in your life? Because you right now, your price is too high. You judge your price, let me answer the question. How should I answer the question? That's all I need?
5'7".
This is where we're going to end it at soon.
Dress size.
Dress size, I would say about a 10.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
Okay, so this is where I end the video because I
Right.
already reacted to that point. But Kevin Samuels, when he does his shows and these women come on there, oftentimes he refers to them as delusional shows.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Very delusional.
Hmm.
This right here is I this was like cringeworthy for me
Mm-hmm.
because I was disappointed. I was disappointed because she didn't represent Black women in a good light. She didn't. You know, with that whole slave comment and the fact that she actually said or agreed that she wanted a traditional husband that's going to be a provider, but she didn't want to be a traditional housewife.
Mm.
These are conversations that um, need to be had and need to be brought to the forefront because I feel like these type of conversations will help change or at least get the mindset of modern women thinking on a different way when it comes to family. As I said earlier, and I'm gonna say it again, if I could do things over, I would have been a housewife. I would have went to college. I did go to college.
Right.
But by the time I went to college, excuse me, I had a son.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have did things totally different. I would have went to college, straight out of high school. Graduated by the time I was 21, found me a husband, and been married by the age of 25, 26, so that way I can start having children and stay at home and raise my kids so that they can be productive citizens in society. Not saying that children that aren't raised in a traditional household where the mother stays home and the father provides aren't productive citizens, but it's just something different about a child that's being raised in a house by one of the parents, at least, at the very least, full time.
Mm-hmm.
There's something different about it. And if I could do life over, I definitely would have chosen to go that route as opposed to, you know, the life that I led now. And doing it the way that I said, which was going to school, graduating, and this, and that, and the third, or whatever. By the time my children were adults, and at that time, if I decided that I wanted to be a career woman or, you know, just go to work or whatever, at least I would have had a degree to fall back on and, you know, do something independently of my husband, you know, if that's what I wanted to do. That's the way that I would live my life if I could do it over again. You got any thoughts, Boosh?
No, I'm just like disappointed at the fact that she have a Trinidadian mother. I have a Trinidadian mother. I'm a Trinidadian woman, and she have a Jamaican father. So it's kind of like the same culture, you know. And this is what she comes up with. So you say she doesn't represent Black women. I say she doesn't represent Black women. She didn't represent them correctly. You said that. I just feel like she didn't represent her mother correctly. She didn't represent my culture correctly. You know, I'm kind of like pissed about that. And
Yeah,
I feel like she just have this, she created this space in her head what she wants, and what you want isn't always what you get. You know,
right.
in order to get stuff, what you want, you have to be able to put out what you got to put out that too. Like, what do you have to offer? You got to match that. what are you willing to offer? You know,
Right.
this
Right.
man.
Mm-hmm.
And just by you saying I'll take care of the kids, it's almost like saying if you had pets, I'll just feed the dog. You know what I'm saying? I know that taking care of kids is a lot. I'm not really trying to reference it the same, but I said it. But
Right.
it's like, how could you neglect the home? What do you
Right.
want? You know, is she? And I'm kind of confused as to is she talking about a high value man when she speaks like that? Because you putting a lot of pressure on this man. If you're not planning to clean the house, who the hell gonna do it? You understand?
Exactly.
So what kind of man are you looking for? Are you looking for a high value man? Are you looking for a man to be working like overtime? Are you looking and a man that working overtime? He's coming home grumpy because he's tired. And is he coming home grumpy to a house that is not cleaned? So what do you really want?
She's gonna hire a maid, I guess, to clean the house.
So I'm
So
saying, so the guy that is not a high value man, he have to work overtime, right? In order
mm-hmm.
to give you all that what you want.
Mm-hmm.
He have to work overtime. So if somebody always working extra hours, he's definitely coming home not happy. So what kind of
Right.
household are you designing for yourself?
Right. I
I,
don't
I
know.
I don't know. I just think like some of these people I just feel like they just want to meet Kevin Samuel. Whether or not they bring together or not, they just want the opportunity to meet this man. I want at the end of the day, we might not think it, but a lot of these subscribers look up to these YouTubers, these big as celebrities. It's sad, but it is.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
reality. You know?
Yes. Yes.
I get to meet Kevin so he could insult me. Yay. I'm on his
Yes.
platform.
Yes. Yes.
Stupid girl.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what it is. It's a sad reality,
Talk
but
your
that
shit, Boosh.
but it is the truth. It is what it is. Because
Mm-hmm.
she did not make any sense and she did not act like somebody who had a Trinidad who was raised by Caribbean parents.
But listen, Boosh,
Mm-hmm.
although she was raised by Caribbean parents,
Mm-hmm.
she was raised here in America, a whole different culture and tradition. So you can't even
It doesn't matter. She still have to go home. Her mom is still raising her from home. You are what you live. You know, she is
apparently
she's influenced by what she's seen on social media and all that stuff. Well, that's
and
not real.
around her, that's the influence of social media and
Uh-huh.
what's around her is the greater influence for her. That's what
Okay.
she's paying attention to. You understand what I'm saying? I get what you're saying about her being raised and living in a household with Caribbean parents and all of
Uh-huh.
that. But at the end of the day, we know how these new, I don't even know what these generations called. And I don't think it's new millennials. I don't know if she's a new millennial or
Mm-hmm.
what generation she come from.
So
But
how old was she?
she said she was 32.
So 32, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even growing up in the Caribbean, they have cable. That's an influence. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's not an excuse. You have cable in the Caribbean, so you could be influenced by that. And you have social media. So you
Mm-hmm.
could be influenced by that too. So why it is she just hates the way she saw her mom conducted the household. She hates the way I don't know if that's her father or her stepfather.
It was her father, her biological father.
Well, she must be hate him too. So who knows?
Mm.
You
Well,
know, but either way she's not happy.
I want to say I want to say thank you to Shotgun 2 for the super chat and thanks to Carissa for the super chat. I wanted to read some of the comments,
Uh-huh.
but I can't highlight them because I don't know why.
Right.
I like to pin them on my camera so that it can show,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason I can't highlight them and pin them. So I'm
Okay.
just going to read some of the comments in the comment section and then we're going to get out of here.
Okay, no worries. Do your thing.
So S. Pryor says, well, we're going to go to Carissa. Carissa says, you can thank Women's Lib for the modern women, but that's another hour of Oprah. Yeah, we talked about that. Like, nowadays women, Women's Lib, feminist movement, all of that is a perfect example of why these women that call into his show these ages, between the age of they be like 20 to 35, ages like that for the most part. And they are definitely a part of the feminist movement. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely I say that we can definitely thank them for that.
Mm-hmm.
So Carissa says it's not frozen for us. Shotgun Tube said God made men the king, women the queen. Carissa says everything is fine. Okay, they're just talking about
The connection.
the connection. Okay. Um, and I did thank Shotgun Tube and Carissa for the super chat. I appreciate you guys so much for that. Yeah, I think that is. Let me see. Shotgun Tube said Kelvin is on point. I didn't see Kelvin's comments. That's the one thing that I hate about going live is that when you go live, the comments that's in the chat, they're not there anymore.
Right.
On StreamYard, that is.
Right.
I
So
like
you
to
have to
go
pin
back.
it.
I like to be able to go back and read the comments just to see what the interaction was while I was live. But
Right.
it is what it is.
Do you think if we paid for it like the monthly subscription, you might be able to get a little bit more out of it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm thinking
Definitely,
about doing
definitely.
that.
Yeah,
And even when you go live off YouTube, forget about it. That whole conversation is gone too.
it's
I
definitely gone.
And I think YouTube should do something about music. Like we need to be able to express ourselves. At least set up some type of a membership or something where people could
Mhm.
play music. It's a vibe, Friday night, Saturday night. Allow people to play some music on the platform. Do
That's right.
something where we pay for a membership.
Right.
They need to
Mhm.
do something.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. But
Shaq,
I just want to add one more thing before I forget. I
go
just
ahead.
feel like this whole feminist movement, it confuses a lot of people too, and it sets men up in such a way where they feel like they don't have to pay to take you out on a date and all like that. They're like, oh, you want to be independent, okay, we split in the bill. So it really have its good and its bad with it. Yes, women want independence and all like that. I don't know if I'm kind of like throwing off the whole conversation, but it's
Mm.
just like that feminist movement, it has some negative.
Connotation to it.
Exactly. It
It, do- it,
does.
do-
It
I
does.
agree. I agree that it does have a negative connotation to it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I agree of the example that you just made, because I've never
Mm-hmm.
experienced that. So I don't know.
Experience what?
A man feeling like they don't have to pay for a date or whatever.
But if you show up being a feminist, you're gonna experience that. You know what I'm saying? Do
Mm,
you think are you a feminist?
am I a feminist? I don't know.
Uh,
I
read
don't. I don't know. I don't
read your
know.
comment. Read your comments.
I never thought of myself as a feminist. I never thought of myself as a non-feminist. But
Mm-hmm.
what I do know is that the feminist movement
Mm-hmm.
is a choice.
Right.
It's
Of
a,
course,
a
it's a choice.
you know what I'm saying? It's a choice. You can choose to be. I don't know. Ooh, that's a good question. Let me come back to that. I'm not against it.
Right.
I'm not against it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I would classify myself as being a feminist, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. I don't know. I never really thought about it in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Shotgun Tube said Kelvin is on point. He's talking about Kevin. That's what he's talking about when he said Kelvin is on point. When he said when I read it a few minutes ago, I didn't know what he was talking about.
All
Um,
right.
the man is telling the truth. That's what Shotgun Tube said. Carissa says that man is a saint. I had this discussion with someone the other day. A man to take on multiple kids that ain't his
Mm-hmm.
is a gem. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my cousin. And
Mm-hmm.
so, we cut from the same cloth. So we're
Right.
going to, have the
Mm-hmm.
same type of opinions and thoughts on things. But yeah, that's my cousin Carissa. Carissa's my cousin.
Right.
Um, Shotgun Tube said Kevin Samuels for president. Carissa says these conversations will help black relationships in general. Carissa also says I would definitely went that same route when children need a full-time parent.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Locke, this started with the powers to be removed black men from the workforce in great numbers and replaced them with black women 50 years ago. Okay. Well, guys, that concludes this show of were traditional housewives slaves? And I think that we pretty much answered that question throughout our commentary between me, Bouge, and Mr. Bouge. And the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional housewives were not slaves, but they were women, wives who took care of their family and maintained the household, family including their children and their husband. A slave is somebody that doesn't get paid for a job that they're doing and they're being forced to do it. So, therefore, no, traditional housewives were not slaves. But with that being said, there was one more. Okay. I thought it was one more comment in the chat, but it's not. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching. Those of you that were here from the beginning to the end, I want to thank you. Those of you that were here from the middle to the end, I want to thank you. And those of you that were here from the tail end up to now, I want to thank you, because it doesn't matter where you started watching this video from. I appreciate each and every one of you. So with that being said, peace. Bye. Wait a minute.
Wait.
I can't end it because my screen is.
Can I end it? Oh no, I'll just be leaving, right? And guys, on your way out, please do not forget to thumbs up this video. Thumbs up the video. It would still help if you thumbs it up.
Thumbs up the live, guys. Let me I gotta figure out, my screen is like, this is crazy. My screen is frozen and I can't even end the video. I'm touching the